could have gone for, but I couldn't make any of it work. And in general, I think today, like, you should either play poorly or slowly, but not both in the same game. And I think doing both in one game is unnecessary.
Well, I think you don't hold the record at the moment because it's Paco who spent 50 minutes for one move and today 38 for another
sure,
move.
I mean,
so there are some people who are trying to do better.
But I think looking at his position, he's not playing nearly as badly as I am. So I think he's just playing slowly. Slowly, I mean, he's always been a deep thinker about the game. But
Okay. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, c4, e5, g3, d6, I was already sort of, I expected something else against the English as usual. And after bishop g2, f5, I think I should continue playing the English is my point. I think already d4 is probably, it sounds very stupid to say this, but I think this might be already completely wrong. Because as I was telling my opponent, I used to play quite seriously in my younger years. I used to play this with black quite seriously, and after knight f3, knight f3, e4, and knight g5, f5, we get the type of position I got in the game. But I think what I got in the game with white is a dream version for black, because generally here black has to work really hard to get exactly what my opponent got, and in view of that, I think I should just continue playing the English, so to speak. Knight c3, put the pawn on d3, and knight f6, d3, knight f3, castles, and play the usual type of English opening game instead of trying to do this, because I'm kind of running out of moves here. I have two options. I have what I did in the game, or I can play something like e3, castles, knight g2, black plays c6, let's say castles, I don't know, knight a6 for instance. And it's completely unclear what I'm doing here, to be honest. It's because black at any point can start playing for e4 and d5, locking down my bishop on g2. So this I didn't like. And what I got in the game I also didn't like at all, to be honest. So by this point I was kind of severely unhappy with my life choices.
So what can you say about the opening? Were you happy about the position, or you had different opinions?
I mean, okay, I was very happy when actually he started to think for long. It means that he's not very happy about the position.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, I knew some similar kind of positions, not exactly this one. So that's why I started to spend time here, because I have actually quite a few plans. And for example, to play with the h6, bishop e6, or just to play castle and to try to play d5. I mean, so many interesting plans. No, I was quite satisfied with what is happening.
Yeah, and I think his play was absolutely logical, and I felt that all of his decisions, more or less the entire game, I was every move I was facing, the move I least wanted to face. So it wasn't a pleasant experience. So after c6, castles, I think it's good for black to wait until I play f3 and only then play d5. I can play d5 myself, both on this move and on the previous move, but I think black just goes knight g4. I have to go knight h3, this knight comes to e5, and the other one comes to c7, covering the e6 square. This is a very typical kind of a setup I was aiming for when I was playing these types of positions with black. Knight e5, let's say b3, this one goes to a6, knight f4, knight c7. Everything is covered, the bishop goes to f6. Black is just completely fine in these types of positions. This is, like, I knew this. The problem was I kind of, I had experience with all this.
You knew this from black side.
Yeah, I knew this from the black side. Still, maybe this was better than what I did. But I had this funny idea, which I kind of refuted when we got there. Like f3, d5, I can try something like queen b3, we were discussing it downstairs, but I think after queen b6 I couldn't make anything work here. Yeah. Also, I was kind of wondering if I can start by taking on e4, but you just take with the d pawn.
Of course,
yeah, not knight e4 and definitely not fe4, but simply d4, and I just couldn't find anything. Like I can play, for instance, c5 here, but black just goes king h8. Yeah. And I just couldn't convince myself I'm not much worse, because this bishop on g2 is just incredibly horrible.
Yeah. And you cannot move it anywhere on h3?
Well, I can, but then I kind of need to start sacrificing pieces.
Which is not so pleasant.
Yeah, and so I need to spend some time getting this knight, out.
instead of c5 somehow to try to push d5 knight e6, but then there
I don't think it works.
I mean, there are knight g4 tricks.
Yeah, there's all kinds of, but also you can just quietly play something like knight a6, I guess, to prepare. Like knight e6, you will take go knight c5.
I mean, f5 is hanging, but okay, I can protect it.
Yeah, you can play g6 later. Yeah, you will eventually pick it up. Yeah. So I couldn't believe in that at all. And I had two funny-ish ideas here, and one I rejected because I just couldn't believe it works. And that is cd5, knight d5, and here I could play h4. And if black doesn't want to enter the line I will show, he can of course take on f3 here or take on c3. But then I'm kind of happy because I'm forcing some concessions.
You're not going back.
Yeah, at least I'm not going back. But after h6, yeah, there is this line. I can take on e4, knight c3, queen b3 check, king h8 I think is more or less forced. Takes, takes, and takes. But the problem with this line is that well, I'm a pawn down. I'm a piece down. First of all, yeah. This is the first major problem, and a very serious problem for me as well here is that I don't really have direct threats, regardless of what black does. Like bishop takes g5 was what I eventually rejected. But maybe now that I'm looking at it, maybe this wasn't really that horrible. Rook f4, g6, and this is where I stopped. But maybe after king f2, the game kind of continues. I want to go, yeah, king g7, and now I go e5. But I guess like rook h8. If you get the h file first, and then you start developing, because I only have one pawn for the piece. I think, right? My math is still okay. Yeah, I have one pawn for the piece. Yeah. And let's say if you imagine the same position with the knight not on c7 and not on b8, I'm just completely lost because it will get to e6 and blockade everything. And yeah, I just couldn't believe this works somehow. Also after hg5, f takes e4 is probably a decent move as well. Although after bishop b3, once again, black will need to show some precision.
It looks a bit optically, it looks dangerous, but of course.
But the problem is, getting the second rook to the h file will prove very difficult here. So, like, I don't know, some move like knight a6 once again. And if I take and go rook f1 with the idea of king f2, queen g8, winning a tempo. And then black will somehow, and if I relinquish control over this diagonal, like if I play c4, black plays queen e6, now the king can come to g8. And although like this position looks like maybe I'm already
maybe you
lost.
Have rook f7 after queen g8. But
maybe, but yeah. I didn't see this
and
far.
G6, but okay. Could be improved probably.
Probably from both sides. This line can be improved upon. Yeah. So, yeah, I saw this idea, but I just kind of couldn't really believe this is how chess works these days. Also, maybe knight d7 is not a bad idea, just to take on g5 next move.
Yeah. But maybe some queen e6, but trying to make the roll. But I mean, okay.
But once again, I'm kind of fighting for equality here. I think my best options, like my absolute best scenarios here, are somewhere I give a perpetual. So couldn't really convince myself this is so great. Yeah. And the other one, which I actually was planning to do, was in this position after bishop e6, which I think is the best move. I almost already sort of raised my hand to play queen b3. And we were also discussing this, because if black plays knight f4, it looks like I blundered a piece with check. But this position, I'm not sure it's good for me, but it's fun. And it's, it can be very good for me. I can also lose by force here somehow, although I don't know how. I actually checked this quite seriously because I was planning to play it, and I couldn't see how I'm losing. But it's not impossible that I missed something and I am losing, but I don't see what. But it's very interesting, and I was absolutely ready to play it. And then at the very last moment, I decided to double check if I have anything after queen d7.
The simple queen d7.
Yeah, and after queen d7, I just realized that, now knight f4 is a huge threat, so I have to take. Black takes with the bishop. I absolutely have to take. He takes with the pawn, not the queen. Knight f4, and just simply rook d8. And I have my remaining pieces are not really participating in anything, so I have to play something like bishop d2, knight c6, e3. Oops, not e4, e3, and hope to equalize. But the difference in the bishop quality is very, very stark here. I'm obviously slightly worse, with no chances of ever being better. This is not a position you can ever hope to be better in. So that kind of killed off my dream idea.
The fun,
that completely killed off my dream idea. So I played knight f4. Yeah, and here I think you were completely correct in what you did. Yeah.
Yeah, I think 96 was good. And, I mean, I went for bishop e6 already. When I saw 96, I was extremely happy because, of course, I was only worried about concrete stuff like d5.
Yeah.
And then, okay, Peter also suggested queen b6 and rook d8.
This is what was worrying me. Yeah, just queen b6 and rook d8, and somehow it's very difficult for me to unpin myself.
Yeah, this looks good. I mean, my original idea was actually just to take knight d5, bishop c5, king moves, and rook f7, rook d7. And if queen goes to b3, then it's another pawn, so somewhere knight b4 can come. So
yeah, this also looks perfectly fine for black. Yeah. In general, it's difficult to imagine how white can be better. It's a question of, in some of these positions, black might become very interested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But also, for me, this was a lot more worrying because I just couldn't see how
to keep the pawn.
How I'm unpinning myself, to be honest. Yeah, it was a very kind of worrying line. Mm-hmm. And then I saw e4 and I was mildly hopeful, but after knight b4, I think I have to do what I did. I didn't see anything else. I can play d5.
Yeah, this is interesting. Take and d6.
This I didn't see at all. This was shown to me by my opponent after the game, but.
And then at the moment, I'm not sure actually.
Hang on a second. No. I thought I might refute it by doing something clever, but maybe not. This I didn't see at all, but once again after d5 maybe you can switch back to this idea.
And rook d8,
yeah, and rook d8 once again. Who knows? And after I played a3, black just takes.
Yeah, this was the first line, knight here.
I think I just go bishop b5. I can also
rook
take
f1.
Yeah, rook f1.
Queen f1, knight f6. Yeah, this and knight g4 and g6.
Yeah, but after bishop f4, I just don't think I'm not.
I mean, if I cannot touch the d pawn or this queen and the bishop, then of course, I mean, you need one move rook e1, and it's probably nice. It's
I could be doing quite well in some of these positions, but
actually, this is a good line. I had a strange idea for white. I mean, it looks, very ugly, but.
Queen d3, I saw this, but I thought you can take on f4.
Exactly, this is what I was spending my time on. Take,
king h8,
bishop take, bishop d6.
Bishop f6, I thought.
Bishop f6, yeah, the idea of rook d1, then queen takes d4.
Yeah. Knight e2 or?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, then I thought actually that this endgame you will put knight on g5, because first I stopped here. And I thought, okay, this is nice, but then I thought the knight comes, okay, maybe it's still,
but it's still okay, the bishop will be on
bishop
d5.
d5, yeah. Bishop f6. I was planning to
but
do
maybe
this.
even bishop d6, yeah.
And the idea is just queen h4. Then what here? Yeah, this was the idea. I thought that this works. Takes and queen here.
I didn't see this, but queen d3, I wasn't planning to do this.
It looks ugly. Ugly moves rarely work, of course.
Yeah.
But okay, this bishop e5, and actually because of bishop e5, I thought that okay, it's around equal.
Yeah, I think it's around.
So
equal.
in the end, it was just balanced. You believe?
I think it's reasonably balanced.
This is our view. I don't know what the computer would
and then
say.
we will check with the computer and see what's going on. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you.
Thank you.